In this video, we will discuss Upstart, the new default system startup service. It was originally developed for the popular Ubuntu Linux distribution. Red Hat uses Upstart in RHEL 6 as the replacement for the old System V init system. The System V init system started every service that was needed in a sequential order. So if a single service took a long time to start, then the whole boot process waited on that one service to fire up. Upstart, on the other hand, looks at services and tasks as events, and only starts services as they are needed and starts the events in parallel, leading to a much faster and more efficient boot process. Init is the first process started by the kernel during the system's boot up. All other processes descend from the init process. If we look back at the output of the pstree command, we can see the hierarchy of the processes, with init being the main parent process. sbin init is the location for the init program. This is typically not started by users on a system, as the kernel handles the communications with this process. All of the main configuration files for init in the Upstart system are contained within the etc init directory. There are some other scripts involved, but we will look at those momentarily. The main script that gets called first during the system startup is the etc init rcs.conf file. This script then executes the etc rc.d rc.sysinit script. After the rc.sysinit script completes, the rc.conf script then reads in the default run level for the system from the etc init tab file. Once the default run level is determined, rcs.conf then switches the system to that run level. The etc rc.d rc.sysinit script file is a bit of a workhorse. This script sets our system's hostname, starts up networking services, mounts and checks file systems, and it runs Plymouth. Plymouth provides the progress bar we see during the system boot up sequence. The rc.sysinit script also sets our SELinux enforcement mode, and it assists with sending the appropriate kernel messages to the var log dmessage log file. The etc init tab file has been demoted with the introduction of Upstart. The etc init tab file used to be the file that set up our main system features, such as our terminals that were started and if the Ctrl-Alt-Delete keys would restart the system. All of this functionality has been moved to other script files within the etc init directory. The only thing the init tab file does now is dictate what the system's default run level is supposed to be. The etc init rc.conf file gets called up by the etc init rcs.conf file and uses the default run level that is picked up from the etc init tab file. The rc.conf file then uses that run level number to determine which run level scripts to start from the etc rc.d rcx.d directory, where x is the system run level from the etc init tab file. Some of the other scripts that are used during the system boot up sequence are the etc sysconfig init script, which has some directives in it for setting the colors for the Plymouth progress bar and if the single user mode requires a password or not. We will discuss the single user mode in our run levels video. We also have the etc init tty.conf file, which sets up our virtual terminals that we can access with the Ctrl-Alt F1 through F6 keys. You may also find other minor startup scripts in the etc init directory, along with some startup scripts for some system services. This was a bit of a whirlwind tour through the Upstart system boot up sequence. If you want to find some more information on Upstart, I recommend taking a look at the two man pages listed here, the Upstart project page from Ubuntu, and also take a look at these script files yourself. You can learn a lot about your system's boot up sequence by just looking through the configuration and script files.